How does changing the tags on an older video get you more views? On the community tab here on Small YouTubers Boost, I asked for your YouTube questions so I could make videos and tutorials and things that answers it. So if you haven't already, go check that out and feel free to submit your questions. Or if you don't feel like going all the way to the community tab, just comment down below what are your YouTube questions and what would you like to see us address in a future video. And maybe yours will be picked. And of course, we will mention your channel when we make the response video. This question comes from Terrence Price, who I believe has been in our Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group for a long time, so kind of an OG member that way, which is cool. Glad to have those people in the community that stick around for years and years. And if you're not in our community, go check it out at facebook.com/groups/smallYoutubersBoost, and we'll see you there. So Terrence's question is, how does changing the tags on an older video affect its performance? Which I think is a great question. There's a lot to dive into here. First thing I want to mention though is when you change the title, description, or tags on a video, it can interrupt its momentum in the algorithm. So you want to be very judicious and careful about which videos you select to make these changes to. You can change thumbnails with reckless abandon, and you can use like the A/B testing in TubeBuddy, affiliate link in the description, to do better thumbnails without risking your algorithmic momentum. However, when you change the title, the description, or the tags, YouTube slams on the brakes and says, whoa, hold on. Was this video not what I thought this video was about? And so if you are getting, and this is my advice for a smaller channel, if you're getting at least 100 views on a video per month, do not change its title, description, or tags. For a smaller channel, you're actually getting a decent amount of views, it's still bringing in some new traffic, and so I would not focus on making changes to videos like that because they have some momentum in the algorithm, and that can accelerate. But for those older videos that have fewer than 100 views per month in the last month or two on your channel, those are the ones you can play around with because you're not risking very much. They're not bringing in a large new audience, they're not really performing for you, and probably not very consistent in whatever performance you're getting out of them. So those are the ones that I would consider playing with because those are on the lower end of the spectrum. If you can make a substantial improvement to those, then you will have a greater impact and an improvement. So if you can make those worst performing videos some of your best, that's a huge improvement overall for your channel. So in terms of what videos you should be playing with in this particular way, that's where I would recommend drawing the line. Now, if you are a medium to larger size channel, 100 views might mean absolutely nothing to you, and those might actually be some of your lower performing videos. So your mileage may vary, but my rule of thumb is 100 views per month, leave it alone in terms of the title, description, and tags. So, okay, let's say that you have found and identified some older videos, and when I say older, I mean at least 6 months old. It takes a while for you to get a real sense and some good analytics on your videos, and so I wouldn't be changing the title, description, or tags more often than at most twice a year. So if you've changed something up within the last 6 months, I would give it some time. Part of why that is, when you first upload a video to YouTube, the first hour, the first day, and the first week, YouTube gives your video a chance. It shows it to random people and strangers, and it sees who clicks on it, who doesn't, who interacts with it, how long do they watch, all that kind of stuff, and it gets some information. And so first impressions are actually really important to YouTube, the algorithm. So if you want to update or change that first impression, that takes time because it's not going to give you that initial week again, that initial hour, where it's going to show your video to a bunch of random folks trying to figure out who likes it. It's not going to go through that process again. That's why that first hour, first day, first week is so important because you never get it again for a particular video. So after you change the title, description, or tags, let it sit for 6 months. You can still promote it on social media and things like that. And you can play with, like I said, the thumbnails as much as you like. But for those three things, title, description, tags, only change them once every 6 months. And again, on those videos that are underperforming for your channel. So now that we've sort of set those guidelines in terms of which videos and how often, now let's get into the real nitty-gritty. How does changing the tags change its performance? And the thing is, over the last year or two, YouTube has sort of deprioritized tags in the algorithm. It's still somewhat important, but it's as much important on things like search engines like Google, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, things like that. it's a little less important on YouTube itself. YouTube's kind of deprioritized it. Part of why this has happened is that a lot of people were cheating in the tags. They were tagging videos with trending tags that had nothing to do with what the video was about. Or they were using tags that was like the name of a popular channel that, again, their video was not about. And so you get in trouble for that. That's misrepresenting your content, and you can get community guidelines strikes for that. So don't do that. For one thing, it's wrong and against the rules. You'll get in trouble. For another thing, it's not very effective. In order for you to effectively be sort of gaming the algorithm, or sort of playing the algorithm's game, if you want to think about it that way, is you want to have important keywords that have a high search volume and low competition that appear in your title, description, and tags. It's when you have it in all those places, and hopefully you say it in the video, you caption it, and it also comes up in the conversation in the comments. That's when you get what I call keyword alignment. So it's important to make sure that the tags that you're using are accurate, and preferably for those search terms that have a high search volume, low competition. So how do you find that out? Well, for that, I recommend TubeBuddy. I've got an affiliate link down below. Even the free version will drastically help you with this. You can use the Keyword Explorer to look up that information for keywords. So you can decide what tags you want to put on your video and maybe figure them out before actually going in and doing it, so that you're not making constant changes to a video, constantly sort of resetting that algorithmic momentum. So try to make the changes all at once if you can. And so do a little research. It doesn't take long. It's not a lot of work. You can just have the TubeBuddy browser plugin installed, search some keywords, have like Notepad open, that's what I do, and just record the scores that are for your channel if you have the paid version, or you can get generic scores if you've got the free version, whatever works with your budget. And then I can figure out what's probably better keywords to target than others. So, okay, we have figured out which videos to change, how often do we change them, and where do we find those tags that we want to try that might work better than what we've already got. So now the question is, how does that impact its performance? And like I said, if all you're doing is changing the tags, you're probably not going to see a drastic change. It's possible that if you are changing, maybe you didn't understand SEO, or you didn't know my theory of keyword alignment previously. And so perhaps you've got a video where the title does not appear in the tags. Your title, or at least all the sort of the different keywords in your title, should also appear in the tags to improve how your video ranks for that keyword. And so that gets you that keyword alignment. So if you have old videos where maybe you made a video about a park and it's, the name of the park, Stanley Park in Vancouver. Let's say you made a video about that. I'm in Vancouver, that's a place I know. So let's say you made a video about Stanley Park, but in the tags, you just had things like nature, walking, dogs, hiking, things like that. But you didn't include the words Stanley Park, the name of the video, the name of the location. One of the most important keywords a video about a place should contain is the name of that place. And so if you don't have that on there and you go back and you edit those tags and it includes Stanley Park walk, seawall, various words that would be associated with that, hiking in Stanley Park nature. Longer tail keywords are also often more effective for smaller channels. And so if you go back and you do that, then you might see your video getting more traffic from search. And so what is the possible impact of changing your tags? It would be improving the views and impressions you get from search. So that would be both searching on YouTube and also in search engines like Google, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, Bing, etc. As well, it might improve the possibility that your videos will come up in the recommended tab on the side as other people are watching videos on desktop or underneath on mobile. So those are sort of the two traffic sources that can have an impact too. So external in the sense of external search engines, but it's not going to really improve things like what you shared on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. There's other ways of doing that, which actually the Videolytics tool in TubeBuddy helps you with. We've got tutorials on that, Keyword Explorer, on Videolytics, all of that. Check those out on this channel, and we'll show you how to do those things. And so I mentioned long tail keywords. I just want to talk about that for a second. So the long tail keyword is a keyword that's actually multiple words. We say keywords, but they're more often phrases. So more than one word, several words all sort of put together as one keyword. And so if you are just doing park, you are competing with so many videos. It would be insane. Millions of videos about parks all over the world. But if you can narrow the focus down to Stanley Park by using more words, then you have a higher chance of actually appearing higher in the search results. And that's how small channels have a chance to compete against the big channels. You could be a very big famous YouTuber, Pete McKinnon, you could be Mr. Beast, you could be Roberto Blake, whatever, and you could make a video possibly about Stanley Park, and you might not have to put all that effort into the tags because you have a built-in audience who subscribes with notification on, who goes to your channel frequently. You've already built an audience. And so oftentimes, people in the small YouTubers Facebook group will say, this famous giant YouTuber doesn't use tags, or he uses very few, or they're not very good. And the thing is, they don't have to, because they already have a giant audience. It's the small YouTubers who need to use every technical little advantage we can get to compete against the big dogs. You know, if you're trying to compete with NBC, who is showing clips of their talk shows and their comedies, that's a huge company with a huge audience, and people are just going to watch because, you know, they're directed to by their favorite shows and by celebrities. You don't have that advantage. So if they are punting the tags and you're not, that is one small area where you can be competitive. One of the things I constantly say is success on YouTube, it takes like 100 little things that you got to do to kind of build that audience. So looking at the tags on your older videos that are underperforming could be one small slice of that puzzle. However, like I said, there's like 100 things. Don't just look at the tags in isolation. Do the tags also appear in the description? If they don't, and if they're good tags, try and put them in the description, but you need to put them in organic sentences. You can't just plug a bunch of keywords in there that would just look like word soup to someone. That is called keyword stuffing, and that's also not allowed, because that's not what the description is. The description should describe and talk about the video. It shouldn't be a collection of random words that make no sense that you hope will trigger a search engine somewhere. They are very aware of that kind of gaming the system, and that can get you a community guideline strike as well. So don't keyword stuff, but find ways to put those keywords into sentences. So in that Stanley Park example, you could say, in Stanley Park in Vancouver, we go hiking for a lovely nature walk along the seawall. And as you'll notice in that sentence, I've included a lot of keywords: seawall, hiking, Stanley Park, all that kind of stuff, and more. And so when those words appear in the description, hopefully also the title, hopefully say them in the video, you caption them, and they're in the tags, that's when you start to really see a performance difference. So yeah, people say tags don't matter so much on YouTube anymore, and in isolation and on their own, they don't. You cannot succeed on YouTube if all you care about is tags. It's more than that. YouTube is some serious hustle, and it takes some work. So tags are a part of that work, but don't just think that if I go and I change a couple tags in my old video, I'm going to be a star, because it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But if you do really sort of think about search engine optimization and then go back and look at those older underperforming videos that you haven't touched in 6 months, you might have an opportunity to improve their standing in search and recommended, and then start to get some views off of those older videos that you already put so much work into. And it doesn't have to take a long time. TubeBuddy makes it really easy, so I use that every day. I strongly recommend it. Give yourself a break, save some time, make it easier on yourself. So thank you, Terrence Price, for your question. That was fantastic. If you or anyone else has a question, you can head on over to the community tab where I specifically was asking for more questions, or let me know in the comments. If you have a YouTube question you'd like to see a video about, let me know and I will get to it when I can, if it's a good subject. And also, question of the day: what has been your experience changing tags on older videos? In my experience, it has sometimes been great. Sometimes, I would take an old video, like I have this James Darren video, and it used to be the king of Google. If you searched James Darren on the internet, you got my video for years, and that got me lots of views, which is great. The video's got over 90,000 views now. But over time, partly because the video is in SD, because it's an older video, as HD and 4K came along, it got ranked a little bit lower, until one day I noticed it was getting me very few views. Less than 100 per month. There's that magic number. So I went in and I did some updating, and the video's name originally was just James Darren. But I think I expanded it to James Darren Live in Las Vegas, or James Darren in Las Vegas or at South Point. I tried a couple of different things. Again, I tried it, let it go for 6 months, see how it performed. And so eventually I was able to get it such that it was still coming up again. Unfortunately, I still have that disadvantage of it being low resolution and a shorter video and things like that. But it is performing again where I'm getting a couple hundred views a month. And that was partly by tweaking the tags, but also the description and the title. They all go hand in hand in hand. So looking at just one in isolation on its own can be good for part of planning, but you need to have at least three feet on that stool for it to actually have some strength to it. So good luck out there, and let me know in the comments how it goes. Thanks so much for watching. Check out the other videos on this channel. If you found this video helpful at all, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications on if you haven't already. We do live streams on this channel where I offer 30-minute free channel reviews, but I do it randomly. I do it when I find the time. And so I can't really say when it'll happen. So if you've got notifications on, you can join us early and maybe get that free review. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.